All right, everybody, I want to talk about the Atari VCS today. This is something that, got a lot of news. It was in circulation. It didn't have a lot of attention or a lot of traction as I think it should have received. This is kind of a big deal. In my last video, I talked about Google Stadia and how rare it is to get the news that we have that someone's announcing that they're getting into the gaming industry and that they're going to be developing their own home console. It's rare news. Now, Atari isn't, a new company coming into it. In fact, they were the very first home console, so they're coming back into it. And if you haven't known or heard, so Atari started a Kickstarter campaign summer of last year, and they asked for I can't remember what it was. It was like $2 million or something, and they were actually backed over what they were asking for. There was over $3 million that they had received, which is really big news. It means people want this. This is something that's really kind of cool. So right now that they're in the prototyping stage, right? They had the concept, they got the design, everything was ready to go. They mapped out what they wanted. Here are the specs. This is exactly where the money's going to go. So it was actually supposed to be released pretty soon. They said that they would estimate shipping July of this year. And I think it was July. It looks like July this year they were going to be shipping the VCS. But then I got an email. I signed up for their newsletter when I heard about the announcement so I could kind of be in the loop. And so I got an email saying, look, we're going to pump the brakes because we have a unique opportunity. So what's going on is they decided, they came at this crossroads where we could either, move forward with the architecture that we have and go with it, or we can just pump the brakes and upgrade the processor and give better performance to the console. And so that's the route that they took. They wanted to put in better processing power to allow better performance for their home console. And this is kind of interesting because, Nintendo was kind of at this situation with the Nintendo Switch. Months before they manufactured and shipped, there was an updated chip that they could have installed that would have given better performance. However, Nintendo decided to just go forward with the manufacturing and the shipping and get everything released for that date. And maybe they wanted to keep on track with this because they had delayed Breath of the Wild for 2 years and they didn't want to disappoint their fans again. Whatever the case may be, they were at that same crossroad where it's, do we move forward with what we have planned and ready to go, or do we wait, postpone the date for a couple of months and have a better performing console? Atari decided to go the other route. They decided to put in a better processor to give the console all that it could be. And I admire that. That's something kind of cool. So they are fully backed and they are ready to go, but they sent out this email saying, we're going to delay the release because we think it's important that the console is a little bit better than it currently is. So in this article, in the article, it says the Atari VCS will now be powered by a 14nm AMD processor featuring high-performance Radeon Vega graphics architecture and 2 Zen CPU cores. So that's really kind of cool because that's going to give you a lot more power. And in fact, they say that this chip will be faster, cooler, and more efficient, and allowing the VCS to benefit from a simpler and more effective power architecture and thermal solution. So it's going to give you native 4K video. It's going to give you a better secure frame buffer that supports DRM video, so Netflix, HBO, all that stuff. So they're really just loading this sucker up so it's super powerful day one. So I think that this is good news. This is a company that's saying that we care about this product, we're going to make it the best that it can be, and then we're going to ship it to you. So the Atari, it's kind of cool. If you guys haven't seen, you should go check out their website, AtariVCS.com. It shows you the design, the concept, everything that they already have laid out for the console. And it's got a stylish look to it. I really like it. In fact, just looking at it makes me want to buy this thing. It's super retro, looks like classic Atari. It's got wood panel on the front, really cool design. So they're really taking home to that nostalgia. So, but this is the thing. It just sounds like it's going to be a super powered Steam box. Steam box is a cool idea, but it's something that just didn't really take off as it could have or should have been, in my opinion. But that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Atari is just going to create a new style of Steambox power. So it doesn't sound like they're going to be competing with the big dogs. It sounds like they're just going to be kind of competing against Steambox. So more kind of, we're out there, check us out, instead of like, dude, we're going to go full on in this thing. But nonetheless, I think it's a cool idea, and if it's as successful as, the Kickstarter campaign is, maybe it could be that one day. So let's kind of talk about what is included in the VCS. It hasn't been talked about lots, and people, have forgotten about it. I forgot all about the VCS until I got that email. So let's kind of talk about it. There's some really cool stuff. So right now they're in the prototyping stage. They haven't met production yet or shipping. They haven't announced when it's going to ship now. It was estimated to be released in July of this year, but because they're changing the processor, it's going to push back that date. So that's still up for, an announcement. All they said is that they're targeting for the end of 2019. So a couple more months on top of it. I mean, July, August, September, October, November, maybe 3 or 4 months later. So it's not that big of a wait. But it's classic Atari. They are coming out with 2 different types of controllers. They're going to have their classic joystick that you can play classic arcade games on, and they also have a Pro controller to allow you to play modern, up-to-date, super intense games. So it's really kind of cool. So it's Linux based, and so they're going to allow you to customize the UX however you like. Really kind of cool. It's going to have voice command, which it's going to be interesting to see that in its play, but you'll be able to stream. You'll be able to play classic games. In fact, it's going to come with over 100 of their classic Atari games, like Pong, Missile Command, any Atari game that you can think of, it's going to be on there. So right out of the bat, you're going to have 100 games at your disposal. It's pretty much just going to be the Atari Vault, but installed on the console. So really cool that you're going to get all those games. In addition to that, they are creating more games, actually. So Tempest 4000 is going to be their first game that they're going to be releasing. It's currently in development and other games. So Atari is coming back. They're making more games. And that's kind of exciting because they were the top dog back in the day. So to see them kind of come back into this is really exciting to see. The original, the OG home console coming back, putting their hat in the ring and saying, you know what, we're still here and we still make games. Really kind of cool. They do have some support with game studios right now. So the ones that are confirmed right now, I'm not going to list them all, but you got like Monster Games, Kung Fu Factory, Code Mystics, just a couple of them. Not really big title games, but there is some support there. So that's kind of cool that we're going to be getting some third-party development for this console. Now, hopefully, if it's successful, we're going to be seeing a lot more support from the third-party game studios. So, it'd be really kind of cool to see Epic Games kind of develop for Fortnite. I mean, if they did that for Android and iOS, then, I don't see why they wouldn't include it on Atari. They've kind of been the pioneers in making sure that their game's accessible on any game-playing device, so that would be kind of cool, and maybe that would inspire other third-party companies to join them and develop for Atari. But there is some support there, not as much as Switch, Sony, or PlayStation, heck, even Stadia, but there is some. So hopefully it'll get some traction. Hopefully we'll get some more support there. So, but they're gonna have online play. They're gonna have custom. It's gonna be customizable. It's Linux based. They're also gonna have smart home integration, which is kind of weird. I don't know how that's gonna play into a home console, but it's kind of cool that they've got all these weird technologies there. But it's going to be overall kind of interesting to see how the Atari is going to play a part in the gaming industry. Hopefully it's not going to be like a Steam box where it's just something that's there and it's an option. Hopefully they'll get a lot of support, and we'll see a lot of people who pick one up and it's actually a treat to play. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about the Atari. Is this something, are you guys excited about this? Is this something that you guys got to pick up and play often? Do you think that there's going to be more support in the future for this console? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and let's keep this discussion going.